following is a presentation of MRE Uno, Division 1.
Tonight we're going to ask you a simple question, and we're going to find out the answer on the table. And it's going to be the question of, does straight momentum or extra time off prevail in this one? For KT, the better part of 2 weeks to get him back on the table. Unfortunately, was not able to play in round 2. 13 days since he's last played a card on the table. And on the other side, you have Andy, who's looking to try and punch a win to top his win total from last year, trying to make it their best season ever and make a regional final. It is going to be an interesting one to see which one will prevail. We welcome you to the second Jaguar region semifinal, as it is the top seed in the region, KT, taking on the 5 seed in the region, Andy. We take a look at what we've seen today, and it's been quite a shocking one. Well, at least to start off, gone, unfortunately, in the first Jaguar semifinal. We'll talk the bracket here in a minute, but in the first Jaguar semifinal, unfortunately, due to severe time crunch, we were not able to stream that one over at about 4:30 today, and Gone just absolutely ran through it against Tapir. And he will move on to play the winner of this game that we have coming up. And then what we just saw a little while ago in the Diablo region, it was all G-Man. He just broke the brooms out against Nam and moves on as the 10 seed in the Diablo region. And he is going to take on Lara, and we'll have home field for that, home table, as the 10 seed up against the 13 seed after Lara advanced in a wild 9-gamer last night after dark. And my goodness, was that a night. But we are here on Wednesday evening, and we take a look at the bracket. Unfortunately, DQ win to KT over Abyan. He will be back. Abyan, of course, in T3. KT sits here in the semifinals, Sport Mode 16, as we call it, this tournament. Andy comes off the win over Karson in 6. So Andy's got the extra game under his belt, but looking to try and prove that momentum can help put him over the top against the boss. And then, of course, Gone beat Leah to get into that semifinal against Tapir. Tapir swept out Sanford, and then Gone, of course, winning in the 7 games out of 9 to win. Or winning 5 games out of the 7 in a best of 9 to move on. So the winner here, of course, will get home table advantage come next round in the Endurance 8 up against the 15 seed Gone, who is just putting on a hell of a performance in this Jaguar region and in this Automotive April. We welcome you to the final game of the night alongside Austin Rogers. I'm not short. We are happy to have you with us. And Rogers, I'll start with you for this one. And I kind of hinted to it at the top here. KT's had a little bit of an extra layoff, nearly 2 weeks since he's been on the table, but Andy's got that momentum, trying to keep proving that he's for real, and he's already tied his win total from a season ago. What do you think's got to give here tonight? Obviously, KT probably going to take some time to get back into it, but Andy coming in hot. What do you see from this one?
I think you're going to see a masterclass by KT, but not early. I think early Andy's going to come in here and he's going to be the man on fire, have a little bit of that momentum on his side. I think it's going to be hard for KT to get out of the out of the box early. But it's KT. He's the boss for the reason. He knows what he's doing in these late tournaments. The 2 weeks off isn't going to hurt him, and I think eventually it's going to be advantage KT. He just has that mindset of win or go home, and this is what you are in this league.
All right, I'm gonna start with Andy since I think Andy's going to be typing on questions here. So I'll start with Andy. Andy, you're doing really well. 4-1, 17-12 in games this year, and you're coming in here off the win against Karson. And now you're going up against KT, who's had a little bit of a layoff. How are you going to use that to your advantage tonight and pull off a big upset over the top seed in the region? And as well, thoughts on potentially with the win being able to top what you did last year. You were 4-5 last year, and you're already 4-1 coming into this one. Talk to me about that. And over to the boss now, KT. We've gone through the whole DQ thing behind the scenes. Put that out of our minds now. It's been in 2 weeks for you, and the narrative to me coming in, last year you won March and you were basically somewhat on autopilot most of the regular season. But now you're in here, you've got the free pass to the regional semis, and solid record, obviously made that Final Four in March, but you still aren't locked in yet. So what's the mindset coming in here, and how are you going to shake off the rust of the last 2 weeks waiting to get back on the table tonight?
Well, first off, it's been a emotional roller coaster, obviously with the issues overseas and with the earthquake in Thailand and Myanmar. Of course. It definitely weighed on me a little bit, not going to lie. So this time off in a way was somewhat beneficial, can't lie. The Abyan thing, like I said, was pushed to the side. The last series you saw me was Ashley on stream, and then, of course, Pac, I won round one, but that was Pac. I have a lot of respect for Andy, and the one thing I noticed the last game I did with him on stream was Lamas, and I've been praising his patience game, man. It's been night and day. You look at the way he's played last year to now; it's unbelievable. On tape, right now he's a top 10 player in his league. You look at the AP calculator; he's there, right? So I have to make sure I don't let my guard down. I'm the last guy left. 1 seats are gone, 2 seats are gone. I know Caesar's lurking. It's it. I'm the last guy. I'm the last bridge, and I can't overlook anything. You got to stay locked in, stay composed. Got the coach here. This is going to be an absolute banger. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm ready to go, man. It's going to be a fun one, and can't wait to go with Andy, man. It's good to celebrate 200 too. That's always nice.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah, for sure. We will talk about that when we get there. It'll be after game number 4, so it will happen tonight. No, that is a guarantee with the best of 9. Andy saying momentum is probably going to be a big thing this game. I'll try to translate this as much as possible into the series. Elite 8 would be amazing here. Already beating my best record last year would be awesome, absolutely. And, Rogers, we've seen a lot of players that, have bust onto the scene like this. We saw a lot in March, like, beat their 24 record, and we're just seeing so much parity in this league. What do you think about seeing that? And you also making a big burst out of round 1, obviously fell to G, but you're part of that class of more players starting to prove themselves, seeing how they were in 24 and proving a lot of people wrong. What do you think about that?
I think it just shows the parity of this league. I mean, this league is absolutely growing. I mean, what else can you ask for when it comes to a Uno league like you have here? This is, the best. This is the closest thing you have to a competitive, professional league, on Discord. And I think this is just exactly what you ask for when you come and if you're not having fun each and every night, if the fire isn't starting, your wood might be wet, if you know what I'm saying. So I think this is just exactly where how this is supposed to be. And we can see another upset tonight. And I have a question for you, Short.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think KT's mindset is being the only 1 or 2 seed left? What do you think about that?
Oh, well, and it goes back to the same thing about parodying the league. We've just seen so many guys out to prove themselves. Like, you look at guys like Peter, one of the OGs of the league, and he was able to take out the March champion in round 2, in Nick obviously being a March champion himself, and Seth being able to go up against Ashley, went up 3-0, almost got reverse swept because Ashley's just that good, but Seth was able to, pull it out in game 7, and he went down to the wire with Ed in a classic. And there are just so many names out there, and I feel like I always talked about this with KT, was that T1 March Madness, the reason you see so much more chaos out there and like lots of upsets all over the place is because everyone's 0-0. No one's got a loss on the record. Everyone's got hopes for postseason berth. Everyone's got a shot. And even then, it's starting to. We saw a little bit more chalk this tournament so far going into round 3, but still we're still seeing names come out there. I mean, look at what Gon has done. Looked like he wasn't going to be much of a story after his T1 performance, and look what he did. He went out and took out Cap and Leah, and then took out Tapir today, and he awaits the winner of this one. So it is it's parity filled league, and I think we may start to see the upset settle down, but it's definitely there's definitely going to be guys that come out of nowhere because there's so many people with so much to prove out there. So really exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I think we're ready to go. What about you?
Yeah. I think so. Andy, I was going to get to Andy's remarks. I've got to say so. My fault. Momentum is probably going to be a big thing this game. I'll try to translate this much as possible into the series. An Elite 8 would be amazing here. America last year. I think I said that already. I don't know. We got off on that. Anyway, I think it's about that time to get us going here. And shout out to William Brock. He'll be our ref tonight. And you know what? I'll let him ask the boss those famous words. But go ahead, Brock.
All right. How many guards?
William Brock, appreciate you, brother. Let's do 14. Let's do it, baby.
Double OG to start us off. We will see how it all translates. Here we go, and starting with the card of the guy that is waiting, the winner of this one, Gone, with the green 2 to start us off, and we are off and running here in the Jaguar region. Best of 9-1 power play apiece. We are going to see what goes down here tonight, as it will be KT's first move. Gonna see what he does off the stop.
It's crucial that KT is getting this start. I think him having the momentum is very crucial because he wants to control this game, especially after the 2-week off.
Yeah. Yeah. How much of it do you think? We talk about game 1 being a feeler, Rogers. How much do you think is going to be kind of a feeler trying to knock the rust off for KT? He's been off 2 weeks, but he's still a proven commodity. So, where do you see him start to? Do you see it like you talked about Andy, coming off hot early? How much time do you think KT is gonna take here, to really get back into the swing?
Well, I mean, is Rusty KT still better than half the league? When they're on fire? I mean, that's the question: is Rusty KT still going to lose any games, or is Rusty KT even going to come close to losing a round? So I think it's all about how much rust is on that bike chain and how fast is it loosen up.
Yeah, and KT taking the minute for Thailand. Of course, we are all thinking about those people who suffered a big earthquake out there. Of course, he's got some family out there, thinking of them, of course, and going to play the Aria 1 after about a minute 20. And now Andy going to come in here with his first move of the night. And we'll go with the ALP5. So clean on green, and we talk about high tier Rogers. Don't necessarily expect to see as you see a double play there. You don't expect to see many big ammo plays, big shots until you start to get down there a little bit. So they're gonna play clean here a little bit early.
Yeah, I don't expect anything drastic off the beginning. And I think that kind of is KT's game plan. He doesn't want to go straight in. He wants to get loosened up a little bit.
Yeah, and he talked about Andy's patience. But KT can easily play just as patient, so it could be Sandy plays the card to undercut that 3. KT looking for the red. Andy went for the blue on his own. So now Andy plays the blue 3. Let's see what KT does in response. He comes back. He's pointing at Andy, and we go back to green. That's quad 3 and not a rainbow. No Skittles here. And oh well, that will do it. That is now Skittles. And we're gonna take yellow here. Andy going with the Grim 7 off the Sting 5 from KT. Just playing it clean, just a little bit of a undercut strategy there. And now KT with a big statement there. Ashley Wild going for red again. Tried to get there earlier, and Andy had some red in the back pocket, so he'll continue to play.
Ooh, there we
Boss
go.
with the triple. The toast hockey to pier combo. And Andy just going to play it cool with the 6. Now playing from behind significantly. May not have any way of slowing things down. But KT runs out on the red, so this could be advantageous for him now.
Was that a run out, or is that a classic KT move? Is he drawing him in a little bit because he knows that Andy might have that, finishing touch that might take out KT if he's getting close to the end?
So KT able to find his way back to green, and Andy iced on it. He switched out of it though, so
he did.
yeah,
so
it's a classic. Yeah, this is a classic KT stall. And and we talked about patience. These guys both comfortable with drawing back to try and find a better break than what they have in their hand, and that's exactly what's going to go down here. KT may have had that +2, was probably saving it. And we talk about drawing. I mean, drawing, at least for KT's sake, doesn't always necessarily mean that he doesn't have anything. There could be 70 different reasons why he's drawing as he crosses to blue. And Andy again undercutting, going for red again, and knows that KT was iced on it earlier, but a little bit of split. Unless he found some of that off the draw there.
Does he have the card? Does Andy guess right here is the question.
Yeah, that is the question. Does he test KT on the red here? We cross 6.5 minutes in game 1. Andy's gonna test it. KT for the win. Oh, wrong number. Oh, that is tough. That is tough. And I will say in response,
Oh, dang it.
that is very tough. Yeah, that's just tough, but KT goes up 1-0. Boss, it seemed like you were listening there, I could tell. I'm guessing there a little bit of split ammo there, or was that double there late to get to check? Was that just was that what you found in that little mini draw city we had?
Actually, no, my headphones are dying. So what I did is I disconnected my mic, and I don't need a deafness. I don't hear anything, so I had to put them back in. So no, I'm actually not listening. So
Okay, gotcha.
But nah, so if it looks undeafened, I'm not tonight.
Okay.
Hopefully it's just because I think because of the last stream, but I hadn't charged these headphones in a week. But anyway,
Oh.
that game was good. That was a good game. Good feeler. Listen, I was rusty there, extremely rusty. Believe it or not, just the green +2 actually came off a top deck, and then I got another green 5 as a top deck, and then really I was just trying to get back to an end around in red. So I saved my red reverse off the start. And
that's what I figured. Yeah.
Yeah, I saved the red reverse. I tried to go for a back end split. He did a good job icing me out, though. In fact, that was the right move. He undercut my blue, and he went back to red.
Yeah.
And he would have had it if he had played any other number. I wouldn't have won that game. It would have been drawn out. So yeah, pretty status quo there. He did a great job. It really came down to just unfortunate timing on number. That's all I got.
Yeah, and the number. Yeah, absolutely. What was the? I did not see the table. I didn't see how much he had left there when you were at check. Otherwise, I would have.
He had. I believe he had 12. I believe.
Oh, 12. Oh, okay. Yeah,
No, I think it was a little lower than that. I think it was like 9 or 10.
Oh, was it 12?
12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still can see the game. I can still see it. Still
okay. Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Because I did.
Keep seeing the thing pop up on Andy's. Yeah, Andy. I mean, you did pretty good, all things considered. There definitely tried to pull some undercut moves, but he kind of had the number there. After that +2, it just seems like you were kind of stuck in the mud. Anything to add to that? And I can't really find much to ask on that one. It's just that, I mean, I think you did what you could, but he had the upper hand on you there. Did you have much to counteract with?
While he's popping that out,
yeah, of course.
What I have to say is, this in this league, you can't just base your based off of, you can't have skill. Obviously, you have just skill, but to win, you have to have luck too. And I think that's the biggest part of
and that's what we talk about. Uno was built on luck, right? It's built on getting those cards down. It's just that this league has grown to the point where you have so many different strategies, right? And that you start to think that luck shouldn't happen, but it ultimately does, and we just saw it there. So,
well, and I have another question: is what is the percentage of luck to skill do you think is in these games?
Oh, it ultimately depends. Like I've streamed games that are straight up 4-0. They had the hand plan A every time, and sometimes there's a little bit deeper to that. Obviously, we saw a little bit of an even kind of play. Andy didn't really have any ammo to contend with, didn't have any plus cards, as you said, but still tried to play with those number switches, and that's really what you have to do when you're down on the ammo, but unfortunately just didn't have many answers in the end and got burned on the number, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. So KT takes game 1 and goes up 1-0 in this best of 9. And I'll take this one. KT can't be 14. What'll it be, game 2?
Let's go 12-pack.
All right. 12-pack it is. And we start with Steven 6. So KT dittos the bot, and Andy with nothing off the start, which could be a bad sign for him here.
It could be a bad sign, but once again, I think we know later in these later in these tournaments, you're gonna maybe have something, and he might just not have a card that he wants to use right now.
So he wants blue. KT goes back to yellow, and now he's hitting the deck. And top deck's a Brock 1.
Well, let me ask you this: was that kind of an ego play right there by KT? Did he switch it back to yellow on purpose? To see if because he iced him out. Is KT have yellows on top of, or did he just top deck that? I guess he does have yellows as he plays the yellow
he's
board.
got some because he played 2 in a row. So
Yeah, so he definitely wasn't an ego play. He was just trying to ice him out.
he's just trying to make some distance, and now Andy finds a way through with the green.
Yep. That's why they call him the boss. He has it covered on every angle.
Absolutely, he's got plenty of strategies. He's a tough one, tough egg to crack. As now they're both running clean on green, and now here comes KT over to red now. He's been kind of controlling the switches. Even when Andy makes a switch, he almost always has an answer to undercut him. Rarely has he been seemed to have been iced, actually iced.
But once again, look at the card differential right now. This is all in KT's advantage. Andy can't get off of the out of the box.
Finally drops in an ammo card. First one, first reverse skip +2 he's played.
I'll be curious if he top decked that or if he had that from the beginning. You got to think one of them have the blues that's just going to win this game. Or I guess the boss just straight up comes out of nowhere.
Really taking. Oh.
He
unmute, and I think he knows what's up. Unless he did that on accident.
No, I won the game. I said GG. I put my headphones back. I heard no one talking. I was like, what's going on?
Oh,
was I not talking either?
No, that was me. Oh my god. No,
you were delayed there.
No, I was off. That's on me. I was
okay.
No, my Discord was not scrolling down for some reason. That was crazy. Green, blue. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Plain and simple there. I mean, Andy gets an ammo card, but there's really not much to say. I mean, KT seems to have had it.
No rust, looks like.
Nope.
I mean, that game, I think it was, I'm going to have to, I guess I'll ask a question to Andy. What is this? KT never gets out of broadcast. I guess, Andy, was that a case of that patience mode, man? Just that patient mode, right? Just trying to play a little bit, didn't have much on the yellow, just trying to do some of those control draws we know and love you for? Crazy.
Dude.
You can never take the broadcaster out of the box, man.
Hey, I didn't ask you to. I did not ask you to.
Nah, but all joking aside, that was...
You can't get that host hat off, man.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm too nice of a guy. But no, you go ahead, Roger.
Let's ask you a question, KT.
I like it.
Ooh.
What did you have control of that game the whole time? Like, did you threw out the Uno, you switched it back to yellow right off the bat? Like, did you know that he didn't have the yellows, or were you trying to just make sure, or did you know he was iced out? I guess later, and then.
No, actually, you know what won me the game? That yellow 9.
The yellow 9 did, okay.
Because look, that was my start. So that +2 he gave me the plus. I really didn't have anything. The double yellow 9 won me the game because it bought me some. I think it bought me some time on the scoreboard. When I looked at the scoreboard, okay, it's 10-3. So that gave me a little bit more momentum to go back into the yellow and just play my procession. So I did a top deck draw just to kind of go ISO fade and maybe I get him drawing, and it worked. But no, he did a good job of every move. That +2, if he doesn't do, I have number efficiency to the end. So he did everything right. It was unfortunately a case of that +2 gave me the jackpot +4. And what are you gonna do? Sometimes it happens.
Well, that's why I said I questioned if you were trying to do a little bit of an ego play, Not saying
Oh
that
no.
it was a necessary eagle play because I didn't know if you were like, oh, let's see if he has that yellow instead of maintaining ground and just keep playing. So kudos to you and Andy. I mean, what else can you do, man? Like it's hard to fight up it when you have all the luck on the side that it looks like KT does so far.
Yeah, it's been a weird series, short. You look at the stats. I mean, it's
Mhm.
been compared to what we saw with Nam and G earlier with 50 combined reverse. It's been tame as a whistle. I don't have much to say. It's
Yeah,
been
I
pretty
know. It's
tame.
really interesting. First +4 comes in that finish. But yeah, it has been quite tame, and I think that's the kind KT, would I be wrong in saying like both of you seem to like playing patience? I think both of you would like a game like this. As long
Yeah.
if it's even distribution, but
Well,
I
and
think
I said on film too. I told this to coach. I said, I've always talked to coach when I see, dude, it's hard to play my style, right? There's not many people that even understand it, right? Clint does, which is crazy, but there's only a couple people that really play my style, and it's very 200D chess, and I like a certain way of a game, and I think the fact that Andy can play the patience game, it's not like playing me, but what it is we both have that in there, and at any moment he could strike. So I have to keep my toes. And listen, I think it's still a long way to go, and you never know with these starters, right? Because I won at home, and it's nice to win at home, but you got to also adapt on the road, which is what I'm looking forward to see how I can adapt there for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think it's time to move on to game 2, which I think, or game 3, which I think.
Yeah. KT,
Ooh,
by
okay.
the way, you feeling any rust still?
Nah, I think it's off now. But the game one was a little bit, but now I'm starting to get back in my zone. Right? It takes a little bit, man. When you your last game was literally a month, last month in March. It takes a minute. And then before that was actually all the way back in March 6th. So I've only played 2 games in a month. It's not easy to just come out here. But then again, I have so many games in my career, so it could be an advantage because I've had a stressful week. Maybe it's not the worst thing to take a little break because I've had a lot going on.
Right.
Is it really a rust factor if you're here commentating and you're in the game? Like, I guess it's different if you're you're inside of this league day in and day out. Like, you see how the other players are playing. I'm not saying you translate to that, but you also are here, thinking and itching, and you're looking and seeing how you can play, and that's just how it is.
I love it. Look, Andy, look, man, he's a high schooler, right? I've been playing this game, just this game, longer than he's been alive, and I have to always. I mean, I've been up here 26 years on Earth, and I respect these kids coming up because at the end of the day, these guys are playing people that are way older in mentality, and they're learning and adapting, and so I have to always be on my A game. But you're right. When you're an insider in the league, you see everybody's strats. Of course, I'm still stubborn, and sometimes I'll play those mental games because I'm always like that, a little stubborn with that. But I know what I always like in a game, in a package, and I can adapt to it. But it's not always easy. It's not always easy because everyone keeps evolving, and this bot is still new. I told Short this with the old bot. I had such a big notebook. The advantage was unbelievable. My sneak attacks were
the sneak attacks, exactly. Yeah,
unbelievable. But with this, you can't do it anymore. So you have to be a lot more tactical, and everyone knows your numbers. So I'm looking forward to this one though, and seeing how he can change the momentum. This will be interesting for sure.
Alrighty. Let's go game 3, and Andy, get your first calls. Free board for you. What'll it be? I'm gonna go 10. Start it up here, and Camaro 8 to start us off.
I think, Andy did say at, his post-game interview, he goes, trying to, patience game is not working right now, but I'll try to right the ship and reverse the momentum right now. I think he has to start being a little aggressive. Let's see how that fights up against the boss.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like he may have to make some adjustments, but we'll see what he can do to try and counteract what KT's been throwing down. Is some early draws from both. A few numbers here and there, but KT up by 4. And double KT burying him back just like that, up 9 cards. Andy already sent back to 15. KT seems to really be cooking here as he crosses over to the Vapor G6.
Yeah, the way you play KT, man, you have to not be discouraged by his little mid-game spurts because you know they're going to come. He wants that high advantage.
Yeah, you really can't expect that he's iced. It's really hard to get a read on him if he's iced. Even broadcasting the game, you can't really tell when it's truly him being iced out or it's him just trying to play some kind of chess. As we're into blue, KT draws to potentially top deck 7. Andy trying to
just like that is now
make it up, and now
advantage.
5 cards. Yep,
Make it 4.
4. Yeah, 9 to 5, and now classic Dolly Parton table. Now Andy crossing over to red, and now here comes KT freed up. He's back down to 4, still behind by 4 is Andy, and with the background 8 moves down to 7. KT draws. Andy trying to make it closer. He's still going, and he's within 1. KT crosses to green.
Here we go.
Here we go. Good. Andy's got something, though. He keeps pace. Still behind by a couple, and now KT hits the deck. Little bit of ISO magic. Andy, though, he's still moving. He's back. He's in front. And KT takes it right back. He's up by 3. Andy sent back to 6.
But look at that by Andy. Not one single, draw card. All of them were numbers. He's not played one card, though.
Yeah, and he's worked his way back and found ways to do it. Found where KT seemed to have been iced out. And he seems to be iced out right now. It's a tied table now. Andy goes ahead by 2. And yeah, it definitely seems like he's iced at this point. Rogers seems like he's definitely stuck here. Andy looking for it. Number of fish for check.
Impressive win by Andy here.
KT's got an 8, but is this it? No.
No.
Might have been looking for an undercut play from KT, but you don't necessarily have to see him go that. You don't necessarily see him go that aggressive with those kind of plays unless he really thinks that he needs off of it. And that's a good read by the boss. And now he's gonna break out a wild. And I bet he's been saving that one, Rogers, for the perfect time, which may be now, but is that a good color? Andy's got the 0 sugar. And this could be dangerous, and you know what we all say? Hard to switch on a 0, and look what he does. Switches to blue. Andy, though, still a Uno. Does he have it? Yes! Wrong color for it. Andy's on the board.
Bro, can we talk about that game from Andy? Andy didn't play a single card that was not a number. Wow. Every single card that he played was a number, I'm pretty sure.
Hats off to him. My goodness.
Yeah, you did a great job there, man. You did a great job there. Sure.
Yeah. I'll go you. One reverse, yeah. Andy, I mean, like, hats off to you there. You were able to pull that number, and I think the key for you was really trying to find, I think the key with that hand, from what I see in hindsight, was that you were trying to find a way to try and get KT stuck in the mud, and you seem to have done that with the green, but even then he was still finding ways to try and keep pace. What was the mindset going through, navigating through that, trying to keep him at bay because you never know when he could pull something out of the hat, and trying to work your way down to the end there? You know, KT, obviously there were a lot of moments where you drew there, but then had cards in the back pocket. You know, we see that from you a lot, but it really just seemed like in the green you were stuck in the mud. Talk me through that last sequence there as he worked his way down on you.
Oh, game was over. That blue switch, it was
Yeah, the
GG.
blue
If
switch,
he
yeah.
doesn't, yeah, because I had blue skip +4 wild, it's straight over, right? It was if I don't go for that break, it's game, right? He did a fantastic job. Ultimately, I was just too flushed in green. I'm getting some really, really fortunate top decks though. The +2
Yeah.
came my way. I had a all number hand when it starts, so I'm not getting much, but then I got the wild +4 a little bit to those draw cities, and it's minimal. It's working, but unfortunately, just a little too late. And he did a great job. Like I said, it's not easy to win a game with flush out of
Yeah.
anything. And
It
he
seems
did a
like he
great
didn't
job.
have much either. He just had that reverse
Nah.
in his hand.
Now, yeah, it was and ultimately I got the stuff, but at that point when you play that aggressive, I'd go for the pace. I didn't have any double numbers; they were all single numbers, and unfortunately, that's where I cook. Sometimes I need double, triple numbers to really hone in on something. Just couldn't get there. But you know what? Fair play to him. When you can beat me in all numbers, that's a round of applause right there. That's a good win right there for the most part, other than that reverse, for sure.
Yeah, and Rogers, you can nothing but tip your cap to Andy on that one. Definitely, you know, winning with all numbers. He had the one reverse he mentions, but he said that it's just trying to get a lead in cards because the patience game wasn't working, and that's what you got to do against KT. You got to adapt. You got to adapt to the situation. Talk to me about working through that, adapting to the situation as you work through there.
I think without a doubt that like I can't get over the fact how you know patient. He said he wasn't patient in that game, but in my opinion, he was. You could only play the cards that you were given, and Andy went from what was it, 15 to 6 at one point,
Mm.
something like that, and he
Yeah,
came
yeah,
all the way back to
roughly,
win
yeah.
the game with I think it was what one reverse. That's pretty impressive in my head, in my mind, and
Yeah.
GG to Andy for that one. That's the momentum shifter in my opinion.
All right. So Andy, you can't pick 10 for game 4. What'll it be for game 4? $11.
Brock, you there?
I'm here.
Oh,
Put
okay.
it in 11. Put 11 for Andy. Thank you. And we go with a free choice.
you
So what?
know,
So this could go a
tell you
lot
about
of
the
different
luck.
ways.
Mhm.
And what goes through, you know, Rogers as a player? What goes through your head? What's the thought process as you work through a free choice and you have the first turn on the play?
I think you try to think of a game plan and see what's going on, and then go through there and just try to see what you think you can take control of. And I think if he tries to start out here with the blue, and that might be the cards he had the most of. So let's see how it
And
goes.
KT is going to go for an immediate switch. Andy going with the sand for 6, so it has the red here early on, as well as potentially blue. KT immediately hits the deck after making the switch over. May have been looking for double ISO and instead might just be single ISO. Top deck's a 4. Andy looking to continue to roll in. Look at this. This is the biggest shot Andy's taken all night.
Was that a
Quad play in the green.
four-bagger?
Yeah. Quad play. And KT hitting the deck on green off that switch, and Andy is running with it down to 3. And KT's going to find a way to red. And does this ice Andy? Or did he have some split red here? Oh, but it doesn't matter. +4 triple, and that is the best hand Andy's had all night. And the quickest
Yeah, for
win
sure.
out of the series. Just sub 2 minutes on that clock. And game 4 goes to Andy, and we are tied at 2. And, I mean, Andy, it just seemed kind of plan A for you. You had kind of just seemed like you had the ammo there. Obviously, you played the blue, but the red switch from KT was really all you needed to get the job done. I mean, any much more to add to that? Seems pretty clean cut to me. KT, I mean that red switch has got a sting, but otherwise, I mean he had the options to win it pretty clean cut. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, once again, not much going for me on that game, so had it all pretty much numbers start. 1 green +2, but you don't want to play that right away. That's the only action card I had.
Right.
So I top decked a blue skip. I had a red 4, red 5, try to play around with the gas and the throttle on those numbers, but
yeah, 100% was
not
lucky.
Not much I could have done there, honestly.
Yeah,
he did a good job.
It's all hindsight, exactly. And Rogers, that's probably the closest thing to plan A we've seen all night. Basically, well, it was plan A. It was just Andy needed that lock and key combo from the red. That was all he really needed to get the job done, and pretty clean and cut, simple. And he evens up this series, and it's a whole new ball game here. It's now down to being a best of 5 moving forward.
You know, we were talking about the rust on KT. Maybe the first 2 games were adrenaline, but as we got deeper into this, we didn't think about the rust might come in later in the round. So let's hope that this isn't a reverse deja vu type of deal where he comes in the game hard and then 2 to 3 games in he starts to not panic because it's KT, but
Right.
the wheels might start clinking up and start tightening it up a little bit.
Gotcha. And so Andy evens it up, and before we continue on, it's congratulations are in order as it's now time. It is KT's 200 start coming up here in game number 5, and career stats. Well, you know what he's done. He's gotten that March trophy and the 3 bronzes, and what a decorated resume in his career. 4 Final Fours, 8 regional finals, and 9 regional semifinal appearances, including this one here tonight. 23-10 all-time series, and in games in regular season, 117 and 82. You include the games that we've already played, it's technically 119 and 84, but either way. And all-time starts total 240 on coming in, but obviously this is 200th regular season. The career win percentage of nearly 59%. And average start, top 5 start on average, starting seed, and almost an average sub 12. And KT, just congratulations on this achievement. You joined Sanford in the 200 plus club. What are your thoughts on making it to this point? You started this league back in 23, and now you're a part of this at the moment exclusive club. But obviously, with the league growing, it's only going to get bigger as we continue to move on here. Give me your thoughts on this.
It's amazing, man. To have that was an old. I gave you the wrong sheet. To have 4 bronzes and be a bronze merchant and win that March trophy.
Yeah, that is right.
I've experienced the highs and the lows in this league. This thing is it's crazy to think that Andy didn't even exist last year until I invited him and Myth invited him.
Yeah.
There's so many guys here I can't thank, and to get to 200 is special. It really is. It's crazy to think that I've been here for so long, and yeah, someone has outdid me on the Sanford, of course, outdid me on the numbers. But regardless, though, it's been a journey, man. I wouldn't trade a single anything for the world. This is fantastic. I know usually we go around the room and see what people think about this, but at the end of the day, man, I think everyone knows who I am and what I mean to this league. I started this thing from a grassroots organization with Jaguar and Fitzwater in that 12-hour meeting almost 3 years ago, Earth Day 2022, and we met for 12 hours to now. As a player, though, to take off the host hat and all the other hats I wear in this league, it's incredible, man. To have a chance to go for even more accolades, go for a 6th medal or trophy is great, but I think what really stands the test of time is, as a player, everyone's performing, right? And I have to be on. Andy just won a game in Game 3 with nothing, right? So it just shows you there's always room to grow, and I look forward to this 200th and hopefully 200 more, man. I've been here so long, short. You can call me Gramps and whatnot, but there's guys like Monkey Boy.
I wasn't saying that.
That's okay. My boy Monkey in here. We still got it, baby. We still got it from the OG days, and Rogers as well. He was an OG. So I appreciate them. But I appreciate guys like Andy, Allen, yourself. Man, shoot, you can tell the story when I first put you on the team. It was great. Yeah. So feel free to share, and then we'll get it going.
Yeah. Yeah, Rogers, thoughts on this achievement for KT, as he just said, one of the OGs, and now he makes it 200 starts. Thoughts on this achievement here for the boss?
Oh, it's an amazing achievement. I mean, you put your blood, sweat, and tears into a thing, and then you're the beginning of this episode or of this story, and this is just another chapter of his prolific career, and I think he has a lot more down the road, and I'm looking forward to 400, 600, 800, and maybe even 1,000 down the line. Yeah. So I think it's just an amazing feat. Games can click off fast, so let's see how he let's see what else he has in store. That big, big trophy's coming for him. I know it is.
God, 1,000 starts just sounds insane.
You never know, though. You never know my motivation. It doesn't waver too often.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, just absurd, man. Brock, if you had any thoughts on this achievement for KT, feel free to share. You'd like.
I mean, all I have to say is congratulations.
Fair enough. That's about all I'll ask of these guys. Congrats to KT. It's 200. It's career start 200, and you get the call for Game 5 in the series as Allen drops that respect. 12 and 14 off the board. What'll it be for number 200?
Thank you, guy. Appreciate that. I appreciate you, Andy. You guys are great members. Well, unfortunately, if it was 100, I'd do 10. So I think it's only fitting that it's the 200th game. No, it's the 200th. It's the 200th game. I'm going for win 24. So I guess 2 + 4 is 6. You know what? Screw it. I don't care about math. 15. Full send it for the fans. 200. Let's do it.
It's like there's no way you were going for 6.
Hell no. I would. I would.
Go for 6. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the math, and yes, we are sending it.
Hey, we got to send it, baby. That's right. Automotive April. I think Andy can respect that one too, for sure. Always respect.
I love that. Yeah, it's like 2 + 4 is 6. Rogers, I did not think he was gonna go 6. That would have been funny.
Yeah, there was no way he was going 6.
Yeah, he is not one to even touch the low tier unless he has to, which he doesn't have to.
The only time he's gonna do 6 is when he's doing +2 3 times in a row.
Yeah, all facts, no printer. Yeah, so true. Oh my god. Anyway, we crossed the green for Andy off the start, and after the red play from KT, and double play there off the green, and early shots there. Very quick to make that ammo play. He's just trying to get that little bit of inch there. He's playing game of inches, right? Trying to find a way, right? Find a way to try and get some cushion. And now Andy going to go back to red. KT wanted off of that, or Andy wanted off of that. Interesting.
We've not had an away team win so far, so this might be huge for
Yeah. Second the road player wins, it's a whole new ball game. Because right now, if it's going to be the home, then we're gonna go 9 and KT's gonna win. But if we see as we see the stoplight of 6s going to green again,
Yellow 7.
7 after another double play from KT, sending Andy back even more. And now we got trip 7s. Go buy a lottery ticket. Jackpot. Andy going with the bow 2, and now for the Brad Deuce from KT, crossing over, and he's been doing a lot of switching this one, and that seems to be a sign that he needs those switches to try and keep the momentum going, keep the wheels turning.
It looks like a lot like a KT strat that we're used to, the switching back and forth and the remaining in control of the dynamic of what's going on. So
Andy with a double off the wild from KT, trying to make up some of that deficit, behind by 3, and forget that
Holy
deficit.
cow.
Forget that deficit. Good Lord. And KT wins start number 200 and goes up in a pivotal game 5, 3-2.
Did you expect anything different?
Nope.
Cookie Monster hand. That was 2 Cookie Monster on that.
Yeah,
one.
quite Cookie Monster.
Yeah, and I don't have much to add. I don't think Andy could. I mean, kind of similar to game 4 where you had the hand. I had it there game 5. Double wild, +4. Use a little bit of that creativity on the switches.
Yeah.
Fake
It's
the
just
red and just go for
calm
it.
and controlled. All it was to me. Yeah. Yeah, Andy, I don't have much to ask you unless Rogers, you had something to ask. I really don't have much to say on that one.
Andy, did you have any idea of that run was coming? And also, did you have anything that you could have maybe picked off KT near the end of the if it was close, late round?
Just ran out of time. Yeah, it's fair enough.
All right,
Yeah,
I guess we're ready for game 6.
I almost didn't see it's coming. Yeah. And while other than that, nothing. Okay, yeah, nothing much more to say. So, KT wins start 200, and now KT for 201. It can't be 12, 14, 15. What is it gonna be?
Well, I got to think this one strategically, but 13.
Hey, 2 + 1 is 3 times 2 is 6. I think that would have worked.
Just in case Brock didn't hear 13, buddy. Appreciate it.
Hey, Brock, you there? There you go. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, here we go. Blue 5, starting us off, the JT5. One down for the Nom 4, got trounced by G earlier this evening. Put it simply, and there's Rogers.
Hey.
Crossing over. Oh, another undercut. And that has just been, that seems to have been its trips numbers in a lot of places when someone's trying to make a break, Rogers, whether it be KT or Andy, they almost always have an undercut and finding a way to answer that switch and trying to slow it down. It's been a common theme tonight.
Well, how much of that is knowing your opponent, that they're going to switch. So like maybe you're throwing another color out there that they're not going to hold into and try to switch it to another color.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of a guessing game, but we'll see how it is.
So going blue. Andy says hi again and draws. Just 29. You didn't say we didn't say hi to KT's card at the end of that last game. Dang it. Crossing over to the Monkey 3. Doubles it up, Steven 6. Down to the 2 and up to the 8 of Camaro. And you look at the table and it is dead even, and this seems to be a rare occurrence. We're getting down close, and it's anyone's game here in game 6. Crosses to 8, and Andy looking for answers, hitting the deck on the green, and now KT's gonna hit it. They're both drawing, and this seems to be our first like true extended trip to Draw City where they both seem iced. But Andy coming out swinging right after I put the sticker. I jinxed him. It's crazy. Triple play +6 over to KT, and this seems to be this is really the first Rogers. This really is the first big lead on the table that Andy's had. He's almost always been playing from behind, even in the wins he's had. He's almost.
I don't
always
know.
been
That
playing from
last win
behind.
he had a pretty good of a little advantage, but it was
Yeah.
just straight card luck though.
Oh yeah, that one card luck. Yeah, but in these longer games, it's just he's always kind of been playing from behind because KT's knowing how to chip away and make a manufacture an advantage. But it seems to be really a point where he's had some ammo to try and set him back and try and work his way. But obviously, giving KT lots of options and being able to slow him down, and now KT eye for an eye +6 the other way.
Mm-hmm. Just like that, switch the advantage. 5 up.
Yep, 5 up indeed, and now that's the problem with making those big plays against the boss. He will find a way. Cross to red. And got the Ghost 1, KT right behind with the DJ5. Anyone's game here still, but KT up by 5. Continues to be 5. It's just back and forth, and
Now, one thing we've yet to mention about in this tournament, in this round, is we've not used the power play yet.
yes. Obviously a best of 9. Hard to say where these guys will fall with it, but with how this has been going, I would say save it for a clutch moment, because if we keep having home player wins, then we're going to be we might be looking at a 9-game series, but still a ways away from that. KT's 2 wins away, and now on the red, it's the deck again. Andy trying to make up any deficit he's got. Now just a 2-card lead for KT. And then he triples to make it back to a 5 into yellow. Crosses back, undercuts that triple, and ices him into blue with the ice cold. And that is huge for Andy right there. Great switch. But
Top deck magic. How about that?
God.
They ain't no
Hey,
top
KT,
deck
you
magic
know
on
how you
there.
said new bot doesn't allow sneak attacks?
Yeah.
Last 2 wins have been sneak attacks in my book. God damn.
I think only.
Those runs I just don't expect. Oh my goodness.
I think only Rogers knows this one.
Oh, Alonzo.
Yes, sir. Look, no, that game, Andy did everything right. You got me. I had no blue. The whole game, I had no blue, and then all of a sudden, I'm thinking one blue, give me a blue +2. And it came from his double +2. And I was like, unbelievable. That was the difference. No blue the whole series other than that little run there. So I got the blue +2 off that. And then I was able just to get a top deck +4. And there you go.
That's absurd, man.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. That was just unfortunate because he was doing everything right. I once again just found a little bit of some magic and got it. But yeah, he did everything right. That was crazy. Unless Rogers got a question, that was one of the most crazy. That was a crazy game.
Andy Rogers, you got something for Andy?
Andy, I think at the end of the day, there's nothing you could do there because that was a little bit of a magic play by KT. But how has it been? You've kind of controlled a lot of this today. In the last 3 games, you've controlled and you've kind of made KT work a little bit. What kind of advantage does it give you to be so with such a unique game style late in this tournament?
Says here and
Well, I think Short. One thing I'll answer that, man. When Short plays me in practice, like, how do you get out of it's very unique. It's very unique. And I know Lane's, it's Lane Houdini, right? We always talk about Lane Houdini, but yeah, it's just if you can learn my style, hats off to you. Because Clint knows how to play it, and he's not even here, right? But there's a way to do it. It's just very finicky because there's not one. I don't have a one track mind where okay, I'm going to go here. I'm going to go. I know how to go left, then I go right, then I juke, then I go back. It's unbelievable. But he's doing a great job. You're right, he's controlled these last. I would say Game 5 I had the hand, but that last game in Game 4 he controlled it. I just got lucky with a little bit of controlled drawing in a top deck city. That's it.
Yeah. See what Andy says in response here.
No one's won on the road either. That's another thing.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying during the game. Like if that's the case, then because we had brought up power play, if that's the case, we're thinking like maybe they save it for a Game 9. Because if it's home players only, we're gonna have a Game 9. So you'll see what we see here as Andy types out his thoughts on this one. Of course, the winner is going to get gone, the 15 seed, punching his ticket in 7 earlier today against Tapir. And
I don't think we put let's see what he had to say here.
oh yeah, I think I've been doing a better job understanding how the playstyle goes. We'll need to probably work on my ammo management a little more, though. Lots of times I'm giving KT unnecessary ammo, and yeah, that +6 definitely gave him a key to pulling that game off, Rogers, and definitely something. He's knowing that he has to adjust it. We'll see what he can do with it. Back to what you were gonna say there.
I think you got to think. You have the advantage here in the next round, you would say, against a 15 seed. I mean, this is a huge, huge, matchup right now. So I think we're going to see these two people try to seriously win this matchup because that 15 seed, yes, has made it to the final 8, but still is a pivotal. Could be a pivotal underdog.
Yeah, and we talked about early season, we talked about it off the top about parity, right? Well, we talk about Gone. He's beaten Captain, he's beaten Tapir, 2 proven commodities in this league. And also, look here, where was I? Where I can't find it. There we go. Yeah, and he also beat Leah, who had that big upset run in T1 as the 16 seed. So definitely not one to sleep on, but definitely the thing to note is that he's going to have home field. That whoever wins here is going to have home table advantage. They're going to start game 1 at home, picking the card start. So, well, it's not one to say you have the advantage. You're going to have the home advantage, but not one to look past. But very interesting to see how this will go down as we transition to Game 7. Game 7, Andy cannot pick 10 and 11. What will it be? KT looking, of course, to clinch it. 1 win away. Both power plays in hand for each. Andy is typing 13. All right. That would lock it out for the series as KT just won that game 6 on 13. So we won't see 13 again if we have a game 8 and 9. But right now it's game 7, and it could be the last one. Andy playing with the back against the wall. And here we go with the bow tie 2 to start us off. Go just past 10:30 Eastern. Started a little after 9 o'clock. We are glad everyone has joined us this evening as we get our final game of the night wrapped up, and we'll have a doubleheader to wrap up the round tomorrow. Just 3 days, and these regional semis are just about over. We're going to set the final 8, the Endurance 8 here in Auto April, as Andy going to go with the double play here. Early just playing yellow and now doubles it. Trying not, and like you said, Rogers, trying not to give him extra ammo, but trying to find the inches he can get to try and get ahead. And now they're both hitting the deck after that.
Yeah. It's, it's so hard to play it. He's played 200 games for a reason. It's tough to find wins and the ways around the sneak attacks of KT.
Yeah. Of course, power play is definitely in play. I'd say if KT's is lining up the ducks, I think he's gonna find a way. As Andy's card comes up again, we had a little trips one there, another undercut from the boss, and Andy had a double play off of that from in the blue. Oh my god. Doubles it up. And dittos.
I think the nerves kind of hurt Andy earlier in the tournament or earlier in this round in
Yeah.
this
In this
series.
game. Yeah.
Because later in the series, it's been pretty even between Andy and KT. KT has just got the card look on his side in these
Yeah.
last 2 rounds, I would believe. And
Oh,
look at that.
yeah, look at that. Yeah. Quadruple down to 3. And again, power play is lurking. Crosses to green. What do we do here? KT, nothing there. KT stuck now on green, and Andy trying to force a game 8. And yep, he got it. He's got it. That's it. Game 8, double +4 for the win, and that is all she wrote on that one. And Rogers pretty clean cut there.
Pretty cut and dry right there.
Yeah, cut and dry. He found the way to slow KT down and then work his way down, and had the hands to finish it. Not much more you can say on that one.
That's what I'm telling you. Like, it felt like Andy, the nerves of being on this big of a stage late in the tournament kind of hurt him a little bit in the first couple of games. Andy, I have a question for you. Do you see the momentum coming to your side a little bit? Like, you can say that the last 2 wins for KT has kind of been a little bit of luck, top decking. but you kind of have controlled the pace, in my opinion. And KT, a question for you, if you don't care, short.
Yeah, go for it, man. Yeah.
How is Andy weathering the storm against you right now? Because I think KT, I think you're trying to play a little bit of passive game, but I know you have that in you to
Oh
overcome.
no,
So I think a little bit Andy's kind of controlling the pace here. Am I wrong?
dude, that was the best green. Look at that. Game's over. If he doesn't make that green too, it's over. I had a double +2 combo, and that was just clean.
My God.
That's so once again, right? Working with 3 colors, I did everything.
So you
by
had the
book.
win. You had the win there then.
Yeah, I would have power. I could have power played, but at the same time, then you leave him with 1 card, and then he gets a chance to fight. You can't.
So
Can't do that.
you had double +2 in a number after that blue 2.
Right.
Oh, so was the lack of power play just lack of awareness there, or because that
a little
it
bit.
seems
I had
clear to
2
me that you could have. It was a clinching scenario.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm not gonna lie, a little bit, but at the same time, though, when he did that, let me see. I just gotta make sure. So what happened is I had double red reverse. The problem is I had yellow +2, and for whatever reason, my brain shut off, and it said, okay, if I mess the reverses up, so I tried to play it safe to think, okay, maybe there's a chance where he wouldn't have anything, because I figured there's no green, so I knew he was saving maybe a wild, but I may have miscalculated. But regardless, though, that was still a switch, because you don't expect that. In hindsight, I probably should have done, but sometimes when you get in that echo chamber, there's no green. You got to be precise, and you forget, right? And it just happens. So he did a good job.
Yeah.
I don't think.
At the same time, though, we talk constantly about how you can't take those home, and that was something could have done. So, yeah, tough break, but obviously still with the cushion.
Yeah. He did a good job, though. That was a great green switch.
Who hit that?
Nobody. No, for real though. Like, in my opinion, I think not playing the power play there was the drawback on the game for KT. But at the end of the day, you can't take that away from Andy. Andy controlled the.
Yeah, he really
He
did
played
well.
way more aggressive for sure.
Yeah,
I know y'all don't.
And 2+4s as well. I mean,
that helps.
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah.
I think let's get it going. I think we go move on.
Oh yeah, starting to gain some of this momentum back. It's still a hole to dig out of, but it's getting more level. All right, yep. Okay, so going game 8. Andy cannot pick 13, 10, 11. Forgot to switch the arrow on the scoreboard. Oopsies. That definitely happened. All right, let's see what he wants. $14. All right. KT won it in game 1 on 14. Lara skipped to start us off. Lara on to their first career regional final. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Was that a home game for Andy?
Yeah, that was.
Okay, so we're still on.
So, we're still home player undefeated, 7-0. So Andy trying to make it 8-0 because
so 13 and 15 off the board.
Yep.
Right? Or did he do 14?
He did 14. 14. Yeah.
Not bad.
So 13 and 14 aren't going to happen, and I think, and even the sender's off for KT, so I think he can't even send it into game 9 if we get there.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
Is that kind of part of Andy's strategy here? Make KT go to a low card number if it comes to a game 9?
Interesting. Yeah, he did send it for the 200. So, but may have been slight confidence with the lead. But we'll see what the strategy is. Should we get to a game 9? But meanwhile, in game 8, we've got trips 8. Crazy Eights all aboard. Yeah, Ditto is a I'd agree with that. I'll give you this. The Brock won after the trips, and now outside and crossing to blue. And the Brad Deuce. One, two. There's Andy in the 1, 2, 3. Oh my god.
Y'all should have never. I should have never found that soundboard. Good luck.
Oh my god. What comes after 3?
6.
9. Oh my goodness! That's crazy. Rogers telegraphed that one. Oh my god. What comes after 6? 2, apparently. There's the other Brad Deuce. And then a 5. We still haven't seen what actually comes after 3. That's very unfortunate. And now Andy, they're both hitting the deck, and now we're looking at Draw City in blue.
Draw City.
That could mean a lot of things for the boss. We all know that. And there he comes, just, ooh. And you gotta think, open door, he might be trying to find a switch. And Andy's not gonna take that bait. Draw. And they're not, nobody's taking the Karson bait. Andy beating Karson last time out.
You gotta think someone has a blue so far. Are they just waiting? There's the Andy.
Yeah. Andy with the M6 and still in a stalemate. It seems, unless this sets up a break for him. But he's been playing patient. He's not gonna try and do anything. And now KT gonna try and make a break with the G6.
Right in my G6. Andy with the advantage, which he's had a lot recently. And there we go.
Back to Draw City. Then he jinxes it again. There's a wink though. Cool.
Just like that, KT back in the lead.
Drawing.
Start City. You got to think one of them is going to budge here soon. This KT with the red. Andy with the red 0.
Red 0. And they are way back there as well, back nearly to the sender. So they're gonna grind this one out. Game 8.
This KT with a double move. Rotates over to yellow. Back and forth right now. They're trying to cut down this car deficit now. The boss draws. Little double action right there by KT. Does Andy have a response? You got to think they're holding something back in their pockets. Andy with a yellow 6.
Oh, triple
And
back
there
to
goes.
red.
Woo-wee.
Very good.
KT with a half dozen, Andy with a dozen. Back up to 7 for KT. Andy up to 13. Boss down back to 6.
Up by 7 with the 7.
You get a half a dozen, a baker's dozen. What are we going to do here from now on?
Exactly.
Andy with a blue 7. Switch it over to blue. You know, statistically speaking, that's kind of going to be a good number there for them.
Still ahead by the lucky 7 is KT, and Andy goes the deck again. This could be dangerous. Crosses to red.
To red.
KT
That
might be starting to smell it.
You know, just like red, is there blood in the water for the boss? And Andy.
Ooh. You got a double. He's trying to hold him off, and leaves that door open, and that's just purely defensive, right? Rogers just trying to hold on for dear life here as he's starting to feel it slip away.
It's still a state's card advantage, though. You have to throw something else at him.
May not have much more to go with. He's behind by 6, though. Another double play, a little bit of might have just picked that up off the draw. And Andy with the blue wild, that could be dangerous.
Oh, I don't know, though. He drew on it earlier.
He did draw on it. He did switch out of it, so it's not the bad choice, and he's going to draw.
I think KT's giving him the open hand right here.
It's a classic! It's a classic!
I told you.
KT with the wild top deck magic again! You're kidding me!
Well, was that top deck, or was he playing him there? He knew that he drew earlier.
Oh my god!
He goes back to the blue wild.
What? He did what? Oh my goodness! What in the world was that? There's no way. There's no way this is Rogers. There's no way this is all happening on top decks. There's no way.
There's no way. They had this hidden. They had this in the back pocket the whole time. You can't go back. You can't go from 15 cards down to this and then top deck it. And if they did, they're the luckiest man in this tournament.
They're appearing to top deck wilds, but the way they've been playing, you never know where those came from.
Now, some of the top deck wilds might happen, but that +4
crosses back to blue.
What is he? Is he trying to ice him?
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think he went to blue wild a second time? He's trying to slow down the heart rate here.
Yeah, but you're not making any gains on the lead. You have to throw something at him.
Yeah.
I know. I'm not a big fan of this switching it to blue. You know, maybe I'm wrong.
Just a skip draw. It's not a bad, in my opinion. I'll say it's not a bad one when you're Andy. You know, your back's against the wall. One wrong aggressive move, and you could be sitting eliminated, waiting for T3 at this point if you're Andy. So he's just trying to play. He's just playing defensively and trying to send KT back to a point where Andy can be comfortable to try and make a break here, and that's seems to be what the plan is here, as he is trying to stay alive in this one. He's got to make gains on the lead, Rogers, no doubt, but nobody said he had to do it right away. He's
at
content.
18 cards.
He's content.
He's at 18 cards. The KT's 9. He has to have something by now, right?
Yeah. He's waiting for the right moment to strike. He's trying to build that up. And Andy's gonna go for it. Triple play.
That's
Raw
what he
2,
needs to do.
and just within 3, and there you go. See, patience
But
is
it's a
paying off, but red switch again. And we're just bouncing
If
back
he
and
switches
forth
to blue,
between
I'm
the
losing my
fire and
mind.
ice. Andy,
Oh,
though,
thank
with the
God.
green.
Woo.
Now he finally finds an undercut. Oh my! Skittles again on the 9s. Absurd. This looking to be the longest game of the series. We crossed 12 minutes on this game.
Surely they
Those
have
Skittles.
yellows to play.
They gotta have yellows at this point. I think the break. Ooh, I think the break happens to be made. I think Rogers are finally starting the last lap of the race here. It's starting to really get down to it.
Yeah, this is definitely crunch time. I think we're not going to see another double card stack after they leave the double numbers.
Yeah.
I think after they get to single digits, it's going to stay there until the end of this game.
After the play. There was a sour tropical? That was a thing? I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, those are the best, I think.
I never heard of sour tropical. Oh, overseas, I get you. I get you. Anyways, from the ground to the top. Cross to green. KT's trying to make those gains, and back to red he goes. Bit of a green fade. And now Andy's going to try and shuffle it up again, going to yellow.
The Rogers 4. Uh-oh, does he have them iced?
Oh. He's going to roll with it. There's Rogers again. And now it's just a 1 card. Oh, KT holds on. 2 card lead.
Was it a top
Andy,
deck?
oh,
the
goes blue
Was
again.
is that an issue, though? No,
Oh
he
my
switches to green.
God. It's a game of undercuts. They keep taking swipes back and forth, and there's Skittles again. And right off that, KT's going to +2, and now he is sprinting at it. 3 cards and a power play in tow as well, potentially. 1 up this time from Andy. KT, he might have it. This could be the candle right here. He crosses to green.
Green.
He's down to 2.
This could be a switch and bait here.
Gonna stick with it.
KT.
KT. I don't know if he's got the win here unless he's forgetting the power play again. No.
That could that might have been a great.
Ooh.
You know what? That could have been a switch and bait there by
Might have been
KT,
looking for an undercut.
Yep.
Yeah. This time it didn't work out, but Andy's gonna also play patient, going for the deck again. And
KT didn't get a top deck.
again, eggshells for Andy, walking on him, trying to be very careful with the next move if he's gonna make it before Andy does. And there's that sticker. Raw City population dose. It's a good old-fashioned stare down, as our good friend Heat Checkard likes to say. 0 sugar from Andy, nothing from the boss. Does Andy continue to draw? Plays a 7.
And we're even out now,
Whoa!
6-6.
Oh my. Interesting there.
This is a tie game, boys.
It's a tie game, and you really can't read either one too well, Rogers. They're
It's
drawing. It
right
doesn't
now.
always mean they're out.
Yeah, it's sporadic. I wonder if they have anything they're holding for the end game, and especially Andy. He's not been on those low card numbers yet. KT has been that low, so we might know what he has in his repertoire. We don't know what Andy has.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess when KT was low, considering he didn't power play, unless it slipped his mind again like the previous game. I wonder if he was, he just didn't have the connections. He was low. He might not have had he might have been looking for a number connection. But, I mean, we only see 1 +4 as well. We saw those crazy wilds and then the +4, but the +4s have not shown up.
Not at all in this tournament, really. There's been a few, but really not many as you would expect
Not
in the
many
game
this round.
going
Not
in
at
8. Only 7 have been played. 15 plus 2s have been played, though, so that's kind of an
Yeah, that
advantage
is.
to KT.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. The teal 8.
Yeah.
The teal 8, of course. Yeah.
The Tangerine 8.
Tangerine. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, but
The turquoise.
turquoise. Yeah, turquoise. There you go. Very good. Very good.
This is a high number for KT. Are we trying to go 9? He draws
KT
again.
drew pretty quick, and the deck is getting close. Andy hitting the deck, and we might be in store. Oh my goodness, Andy.
Reshuffle.
Well. And ladies and gentlemen, all bets are off. The deck's been reshuffled. There you go. There you go. That's appropriate. Yes, sir. All right, we're stuck on the background 8. Boss gonna go for the red 5 on the DJ. And Andy's still drawing, and it seems to be more strategic. You have a reshuffle, you don't have these options.
Oh, the yellow wild gets thrown out there.
And yellow wild, and that's all 4 wilds of the original deck, but now there's 3 wilds in the game now. That was the 4th wild from the original starting deck.
The bow tie yellow too. This is giving. I think this is giving KT a little
point,
bit of life. That reshuffle.
Yeah. You gotta think that they're saving those +4s too. There's with a reshuffle, only 1 +4 played. There's no shot that they're not trying to hold on to that until they can make a play. I wonder if KT maybe just hasn't been able to find it. Andy might be saving them at this point if KT was down to 2 and didn't have the play.
I think KT was looking for that reshuffle. I think he drew back to get to the reshuffle to restart his game and keep going.
There you go. Across the blue now. There's Andy. KT didn't point. Disappointing. Andy by 3.
You got to think though that the power play has to come into advantage sometime in this game. If not for KT, it has to be for Andy, right?
I think it's gonna probably come for Andy unless KT finds a way. Because I got a feeling at this point now with the reshuffle that Andy's got the +4s in tow.
Yeah,
where
I had
else
the
could
game
they possibly
warned.
be because KT was down to 2 cards earlier when his deck was still low. Might have pulled one though. Oh no, that might do it. What's he doing from 10 back? What's he doing here? From 10. Do you think this is a winner? Maybe he was saving him.
He just threw the blue 4, so it has to be something. There's no way he's leaving Andy with a defend card here.
Oh, uh-oh. Oh, no, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. Just a skip out of order there. Just need to play that skip on the back end, I think. Unless it's been botched in some other way, but I don't think so. Yeah, oh my lord. What a run. And he was saving it, Rogers. There you go, +4. And there's the other one. So Andy still had 1 on his side, but god damn. He did power play Monkey. He literally did. KT power played. He did. Andy couldn't have power played. No back-to-back power. Yeah. No back-to-back on the... You can't defensively just use that. Anyway. And 22 minutes gone by in that one. 22:03. And that's yeah.
I think he had those in his back pocket. He might have got some on those draws, but I think he was waiting for one perfect card, and I think he was going to use that power play.
Yeah, he did a fantastic. I don't even know where, but he stopped me 4 times. I think it was that wild. He stopped me 4 times again. So usually I always bank on a wild card from another player. I hadn't seen it, so I thought, perfect time to use it. I was just trying to play ISO, man.
Did you top deck that second one?
What's that?
Did you top deck that second one, the back and forth wild there?
The first one, no. The second one, yes.
Yeah.
The problem was I knew we were getting low on the cards, and when we got to about 9 cards, first +4. Then three more draws, another +4. And then another wild. I got, you know what? Now I know where the ammo is. It was a veteran move. I knew where the ammo was. I knew it was at the back. So I forced the reshuffle.
I got 2 questions for you, KT.
Yeah.
First one, when you got down to low card numbers earlier, the last time you did before you ended it here, did you try to bait him and undercut him and go back to red, or did you think he would stay with green there?
I really thought either option. I mean, I'm gonna. Can you point to where it was? Because it was a long one.
So this was when you were down to
I'll find it.
3 cards, and you changed the color from red to green.
Right.
And in my opinion, I thought you were going to try to make him go back to red, thinking you didn't have it, and then he stuck with the green, and he made you have to draw.
I had.
You went back on the 3, right? On the 3, I think it was. Yeah, I think here.
Send it to me.
I think right here.
Okay, let me see if I can find it. Let me just.
Yeah,
just hit the reply. I'll take you up.
I got you. Yeah, I tried playing. So basically, that right there, ISO. Game was over if I had one yellow. I had a hanging yellow 9. I couldn't get rid of that yellow 9, and that was the killer. If I had got rid of that yellow 9 earlier, I didn't make a mistake. He just kept undercutting me when we got to those Skittles. So I was thinking, okay, so the yellow 9, how am I going to get rid of it? And I finally found a way to get rid of it, but it needed to draw city. He did everything right. I did not have a finisher. I did not mess the power play up. I just never had the opportunity. I think this series, though, like I said, if it wasn't for the feel, right? We talk about the grip and a little bit of the texture. If I just knew when I kept getting those +4, I knew it was a back end ammo game immediately. So I said, I'm going all in. It's game. No one had won it remember, no one had won on the road yet. So I'm thinking this is my only shot. I don't want to force a G9. I gotta basically hope the top decks are at the end of the pile, and they were. And the moment I hit it from 10 back, it's over. I knew right there and then 10 bagger, game's over. I had built up enough of a chain, but damn, dude, he played everything right. I know some may say that patience, dude, that was the perfect. He did everything right, because if he doesn't play those patience games and goes back and forth on my own wild card, I was having a chuckle with that, of course. He doesn't use my own card against me. He doesn't even extend his 20. This should have been over in 5 minutes. But he did a fantastic job, so I got to give him praise. What was the second question? I'm sorry.
My second question is, were you drawing back to get that reshuffle? Was that part of your game plan, or were you just out of ammo?
2,000%, yes, 100%. I just felt he had the momentum, man. He had the momentum. When he stopped me like that, I had no choice but to create my own luck and momentum. And my only shot was let's go back. Let's go out back tonight. Let's go back to the outback and see if there's anything back there, mate. And we got lucky, but man, fair play to Andy. I want to give him his credit. This guy learned a lot. I remember calling one of his games against Ashley Ashley against who was it last year? Somebody else, and he was nowhere. He was nowhere to be found. And then all of a sudden, he found this patience game more than just against Llamas. I think really T1 as well, and we lost to Nick. And he's been able to just find the rhythm every time. I think the only thing that really benefited me short tonight was look at this. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's the only thing.
You
really
guys both stuck in the mid to high tier the whole time.
Absolutely.
Well, honestly, I think it was part of his game plan there.
Absolutely.
I think he wanted to try to keep you on those high cards. So if it got to a game, 8 or 9, he was going to try to keep you down with a low card number. It just didn't happen. He was trying to make you get there. He didn't get to that game 9. I think the game 9 would have kind of been in his hands because you couldn't pick any of the low high numbers.
Yeah, and he did the right thing. He wore me out, and that's really what you gotta do. You gotta wear me out. He wore me out to the brink, and I mean, you look at the stats in this game; they don't do justice. Because sure, I won every single category, but the guy fought 8 games and he had 120 cards drawn. Now, sure, some of that was the last 10 card chain at the end there where I got most, but he did a fantastic job.
Oh, you just scroll up. Yeah, you did. That doesn't exist, unfortunately.
Here, one sec,
Dang.
Coach. I got you.
I found it.
Yeah. But no, Andy, listen, man, great job. I mean, but back to your question, yeah, it was a 2,000%. I went all in. I've been here so many times now. I played 204 games or whatever. I've been here so many times where I know when to sense to read. And I think that was my only shot. And I think you know what? It's crazy to say this, short, but I'm the last. I won the Legends class tonight. That is
yeah.
I mean, back in my mouth,
huge.
I'm thinking to myself, okay, everyone's gone, so I have one shot, and no one's seen this. Hey, KT's alive in T. I thought he was done. I thought he was locked in already,
Well,
right?
Honestly though, like I was talking to Short earlier. I don't know if you heard it, but this is a big win because you play a 15 seed the next round. That's almost I'm not saying it's an automatic win to a Final Four, but that's really big for you going into there after a big win against an Andy guy who actually showed up tonight. After shaky first 2 games.
I needed this. I needed this test because if I win this thing 5-1 or I lose this game, I'm going to start to wonder, man, it's a what if on that Abyan thing. But he gave me every look I needed to go out there next round. I think this guy's got a shot in the Elite Eight too. Don't get me wrong. I know talent pretty damn well. Ask Ashley, right? And some others. I know some talent. I think this new patience game he's playing, the way he's been able to use a lot of the ammo control, it's just been fantastic. But on to Gon, look, he's going to be an interesting one to schedule it. And number 2 is more just. This reminds me so much of KT Brad round 1. I mean, it reminded me of Brad being a 15 seed. Same exact thing. 115 Elite 8 in March Madness 24. The only difference is I'm playing a guy that I have to study a little more, but I know he's dangerous because guess what? We're the only 2 guys in the tournament that have won our classes. We have nothing. We are on absolute house money, right? And that makes things a lot more dangerous in a good way for both of us. We're just going to send it, and that's going to be a good one. But I go ahead and ask Andy a question for Coach, and then I'll give it back to Short. Go for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Andy, first off, man, I can't say nothing but just tops off or hats off to you tonight, man. You played your absolutely rear off. But before we close out tonight, I need to know, how did it feel to play up against a legend like KT and compete in every single battle? A little bit of luck went his way, a little bit of luck went your way. And also, what are you taking from T2 into the next tournament to getting better and trying to build on that momentum?
Yeah, that was a great series, though, man. Like I said, it was back and forth. It was electric, and hats off to him because if you would have told me this guy had 4-2 on the season,
4-2, 2017 with a win could have taught. I mean, he was 4-5 last year,
and he already beat some huge names in this league.
Oh,
man.
yeah,
he took care of business. Cave Money's not easy. Lamas is not easy.
No.
Look at Ed's Ziemba. Ed's in the Elite Eight, right? He beat Ed.
Yeah.
He's done some great things. I think it's only going to go up from here. As for Guy, like I said, it's going to be house money. I'm at 7 wins already, right? At this point, it's going to be about just figuring out his style. But man, I'm the old dog left, man. I mean, I know Caesar's still on the other side, but I'm the old guy left, so I guess win for the old experienced ones. But I don't know. It's gonna be a good one. This grizzly beard that has no gray hair just yet is still cooking, and fair play to Andy, man. That shout out to everyone for coming out, William Brock Reffin, and good to see my guy Alan and Cody Smart, of course, for sure. Hope that iPad's good, buddy. Anyway.
Yeah, appreciate you, Short. Appreciate you, Boss. Let me commentate tonight.
Yeah.
Absolutely pleasure.
We'll see what Andy says, though.
Great to work with you, man. Sure. We'll see what Andy says, and we'll get on out of here. We definitely got to do this again for sure, Rogers. It's been a great time. Yeah, we'll just wait for Andy here. I mean, B1v15. This is our second regional final that is set. Ed awaiting the winner between Caesar and Monkey tomorrow. We'll talk tomorrow's schedule. We got a minute. Of course, you have Myth and Logan. This is a 6v7 matchup in the Mustang. The second semifinal. Awaiting the winner there will be Vapor, and he will have home table advantage despite that. Despite whoever wins that one. 6v7, Vapor's the 5 seed. Running the region. And the winner in that region will get the winner between KT and Gon coming up in the Final Four, of course. And then Ed Ziemba awaiting the winner between Caesar and Monkey. So the Myth and Logan will be tomorrow night at 7. And immediately following at 8:30 will be Caesar and Monkey in the Spider region of the second semifinal after Ed started. So we'll have starting and ending the round will be the Spider region. Andy's quote: "Nice to actually even bear a fight against a legend. Considering I losses against Ashley and other legends last season, this tournament was a really big one for me, and it gives me a lot of confidence for the rest of the season. Still haven't had a bad loss in that game. It was a really good one for me, even if I lost it. Wish the best of luck to KT for the rest of the tournament. Hope to see everyone in the Sweet 16 again come T3. Appreciate Andy for the quote. And appreciate everyone for helping us out on this one tonight. Thanks to Brock for reffing. Thanks to Rogers for commentating. You take a look at and the bracket KTV Gone 1v15. And we just have 2 more regional finals to set. I don't have a graphic on this right now. I didn't have time to make it for tonight, but there will be a calendar post coming up in the server, of course. And like I said, Mustang region, Myth and Logan, 6v7, 7 o'clock, 8:30, Spider region, 3v7, Caesar vs. Monkey to wrap up the round tomorrow night. So that is going to do it for tonight's action. For all of us here at MRE Uno, I've been Not Short. We thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you again tomorrow night at 7 o'clock as we get you set for the final 2 semifinals in the Sport Mode 16 of Automotive April. As we look ahead to the Endurance 8 starting very, very soon. Thank you so much for joining us and have a great night.
This has been a presentation of MRE Uno Division 1.